Good day, I'm Lisa Rowe and this is your JIS News for Thursday, March 20, 2025. The 2025-2026 national budget presented by Finance Minister Favour Williams has been deemed credible by the Independent Fiscal Commission based on macroeconomic and fiscal projections. Fiscal Commissioner Courtney Williams made the statement during the IFC's inaugural press conference on Monday. He says the country's current fiscal policy and position are sustainable.
It is good that for over a decade, we have grown accustomed to greater macroeconomic stability. But this was not always the case. In Jamaica, that a national budget was credible or that we were on a sustainable path. In fact, for most of our history, this has not been the case. And that is why Jamaica is now engaged in a comprehensive process of economic reform and related institutional strengthening. And the IFC, Independent Fiscal Commission, is simply the latest component of this process of economic reform and institutional strengthening.
The IFC, which commenced operations on January 1, 2025, was established by the Independent Fiscal Commission Act 2021 to promote sound policy and management to sustain fiscal discipline. The Commission has since put forward recommendations to improve the budgetary process in its inaugural Economic and Fiscal Assessment Report.
The Commission proposed that our government present a comprehensive fiscal profile for the specified public sector. Second proposal was for tabling revenue measures concurrently with all other budgetary documents and presenting said measures in the fiscal policy paper. The third significant point we put forward for consideration is for establishing clear compensation negotiation cycles geared towards settling wage negotiations before the budget is presented.
Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Favour Williams, has reaffirmed the government's commitment to expanding the use of the central bank's digital currency Jamdex. She emphasizes that the initiative remains a priority despite challenges in onboarding businesses. Minister Williams was responding to questions during a recent meeting of the Standing Finance Committee of Parliament.
Businesses would prefer for Jamdex to be used by to be able to be facilitated by their existing point of sale machines. So there is some work that would need to be done to have that kind of integration into the one point of sale machine that businesses use.
Jamdex, the digital version of Jamaica's currency, is currently available through the National Commercial Bank's Link digital wallet and Jamaica National's JNPay wallet. The work being done to transition Jamaica from a constitutional monarchy to a republic is more than 50% complete. That's according to the Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs, Marlene Malahoo Fort. She says the constitutional reform process remains a top priority for the government as it seeks to establish a Jamaican president as the nation's head of state. The most recent step in the transition was the tabling of the Constitution Amendment Republic Bill 2024 in December last year.
You can only change the provisions of the Constitution by a bill amending those provisions. And with a bill in the Parliament, we are more than 50% along the way. More than. I would say that once the review is complete, the next thing is debating and passing the bill in the House of Representatives.
Minister Malahoo Fort was speaking at a JIS think tank on Wednesday. The bill is currently being reviewed by a joint select committee of Parliament, which is to produce a report to guide the debate in both houses of Parliament. Once passed in the House of Representatives, the legislation will move to the Senate. The minister explains that if the Senate does not complete its vote on the bill within a month, as prescribed by the Constitution, it will be deemed rejected and will return to the lower house.
We are going to be overtaken by general elections. The good thing is that the process, the alteration process in the Constitution, recognizes that too. And so the work can be done over different parliament. So we are more than halfway, but critically and qualitatively, because we have the bill in Parliament, I would say it's the biggest achievement that we have made so far in the process to reform the Constitution to transition to a republic.
Meanwhile, the Legal and Constitutional Affairs Minister says the referendum on the question of transitioning Jamaica to a republic will not be held at the same time as the upcoming general election. She explains that before a referendum can take place, a referendum bill will first have to be passed in Parliament, setting out the procedure for taking the vote.
It will provide for the participation of every Jamaican who is registered to vote to approve the changes that Parliament will make to the Constitution. Before we get to the actual holding of the referendum, we will have to design questions for the people to answer in the vote, and that is not yet done because we are paying very close attention to attempts by other countries. What has worked, what has not worked well.
The referendum will provide Jamaicans with the opportunity to decide whether to sever ties with the colonial structures and establish a governance system that reflects Jamaica's identity and aspirations. This will be managed by the Electoral Commission of Jamaica.
We know that all matters in relation to voting are managed by the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, the ECJ, and that will not change because the referendum is similar to a vote, except that you're not voting for people. You are choosing Jamaica by choosing changes to the Constitution that will see a Jamaican as head of state and the other changes being made.
And finally, Leeds Primary and Infant School in St. Elizabeth has been provided with 50 tablets to support students impacted by a devastating fire that caused significant damage to parts of the institution. The fire destroyed the building housing grades 2 to 4, resulting in disruptions to in-person learning for many students. The donation, which represents a collaboration between the Ministry of Education and eLearning Jamaica Limited, is to help students continue their education while the school undergoes necessary repairs. Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon says repairing the affected sections of the building is a top priority.
The Ministry of Education team is here with me, and we are going to work quickly to rebuild the areas that are damaged. We came today with 50 tablets for those students who need them so they can continue learning. And then they told us that some of the students don't have any internet at home. And so we called Flow Foundation yesterday, and Flow Foundation said, of course we can help. We want to help the school. And so they gave us devices, not the devices, but the SIM cards for the devices. And they're loaded with a 30-day data plan.
In addition, the ministry plans to retrofit exam rooms in another part of the school with solar power, as the institution is currently without electricity. Principal of Leeds Primary, Christine Dawkins, expressed deep appreciation for the overwhelming support from colleagues, parents, and education officials.
The support is overwhelming. I cried for the devastation, and when I saw my colleagues, the way they rallied around me, I know that these devices are going to make a big difference.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Lisa Rowe. Thanks for watching.